Good morning. This is English 8 for Monday, April the 20th. Today we are going to can pick up back up where we left off before our test with prepositions. Now let's remember, prepositions have to have an object. Every preposition starts a prepositional phrase. If it does not have an object after it, it is not a preposition. In fact, if it doesn't have an object after it, it is an adverb, okay? Now, if English is your second language, okay, different languages use different speech patterns, okay? You might say in Spanish, literally, if you change the words to English, it would be like the coat of gray, okay? In English, we say the gray coat. Our adjectives go before the noun. In Spanish, they go after it. Because English, being for many of you, your second language, sometimes prepositions can be a little hard. Not that you don't understand how they're used or their purpose in a sentence, but maybe understanding which preposition to use. My husband works with quite a different group of consultants from all over the world. He has met a man on his team from India, one from Pakistan, one from South Africa, a couple of just Americans like himself. There's one that's Canadian, one that is from England. There's all these different languages and dialects where many of them, English is not their first language. In fact, the two gentlemen that work with him from India cannot even speak to each other in a native tongue because they're from two different parts of India and they have so many dialects in their country that even though they're both from India and they both speak their own dialect, if they want to speak to one another, they must speak in English. But English is their second language. So sometimes consultants will bring to my husband a document and say, hey, would you read this? Was I clear? Did I use the right words? And he says most often it's prepositions that are a little tricky. So we're going to take today and we're going to look at them. Most of you, because you are born and raised here, even though English is your second language, you are completely submerged in the English language. This isn't a big deal. Whereas those gentlemen I'm talking about, they've come here to work as adults. And so this is the first time they've been submerged into an English-speaking world. It's a little different. Now, but I do want to be careful. I don't want to make an assumption that you know two particular words apart. I want to make sure you really do. First, I want us to talk about the words beside and besides. I am standing right now beside my table that I put my book on. I'm beside it. It's a location. I'm next to it, okay? I am beside it. Now, the other word is besides. I have a teacher's desk in this room, but I also have 31 student desks in this room. So, besides my teacher's desk, there are 31 student desks in my room. That means in addition to. So beside, with just a D-E, means next to. If it has an S, besides, it means in addition to something. Then you have the words between and among. Between means there are two people or two things that are going to share something, or two things that are going to give us a location of something, okay? If you have among, then you have to use three. I have two daughters living at my house, and if they wanted to share a pizza, just the two of them, we would say they're going to share the pizza between the two of them. But now I have 5 children, and if all 5 of my children were home visiting, plus the 2 spouses and the fiance, now I've got 8, okay? If I had all of them at the house, I would say they're going to split the pizza among them, okay? So between means 2, and among means 3 or more. Now, the next one is except and except. Except, E-X-C-E-P-T, means the exception, no, okay? And we're going to exclude this person. Everyone is going to pass 8th grade except those of you who do not do your online work, okay? And so with everybody's going to go to 9th grade except those that don't do their work. They're not going to go to 9th grade. They're going to be in 8th grade with me again next year, Okay? Now, the other word was accept, A-C-C-E-P-T. That's a verb. It means to receive or to take something. We will have a graduation eventually, but when we have your 8th grade graduation, you will accept or receive, you will take this diploma from pastor. Okay, you will accept it. Next is in and into. Right now, I am standing in room 38. That's my classroom. That's where I teach. This is my little world, okay? I'm in room 38. Now, if I were outside at my car, I would want to come into the building. When I'm talking about the word into, I have to be going from the outside to the inside. Now, I don't necessarily have to be out in the yard. I could be in the hallway, and I'm going to go into my room. I'm changing locations, but I am already in my room. I hope you see the difference. Next is of and have. Of is a preposition, meaning it has an object after it. The word have is a verb. They cannot be changed. You cannot use a preposition as a verb, and you cannot use a verb as a preposition. And happens frequently. Okay, let's look at the board. The painting shows the activity between or among dusk and dawn. Okay, we're going to look at the activity from dawn and dusk. So we're going to say it's the activity between. Look at the next one. A peaceful village lies between or among the forest and the hill. Between the forest and the hill, there's a village. So it lies between. There's two things. There's a forest, there's a hill. A galaxy or comet swirls between or among a dozen stars. What does it do? It is among. The reason it's among is we're talking about 12 stars. Have you ever looked at space pictures? I'm not a huge space fan, like I love to study astronauts, and I don't. But I do like to look at the pictures of the galaxy because it reminds me of how powerful our God is. And to think that God, with all that power, cares about me, cares about my problems, and cares about how I feel. And he doesn't want me discouraged, and he wants me to be happy, and he wants to bless me. Isn't that interesting? I love that about God. Okay, next. A large Bible lay beside or besides pastor's coffee. I don't know if every pastor drinks coffee when he reads his Bible, but I know my son does. So what is that? It is beside. It's next to his Bible is his coffee. Okay? Beside or besides America, the missionaries have served in Chile and China. Okay, so they've served in Chile, they've served in China, and they've also served in America, so we're going to say that's in addition to, right? So in addition to America, the missionaries have served in Chile and China, so the word is besides. Look at the next one. All the students except James and Theo may go to the gym. These two guys cannot go. We're excluding them. So we would say that it is except, E-X-C-E-P-T, okay? The teens will accept Brother Ricky's challenge. What are you going to do? You're going to take his challenge, right? So you're going to accept it. Let's look in your book at page 220. Page 220, number 1. Joy stands beside or besides Rachel in choir. Well, she stands next to her, so she stands beside. Number 2, the little girl sat on the floor and played between or among the frisky puppies. She played among the puppies. When it gets dark outside, it's time to come into or in the house, said Mother. When it gets dark, it is time to come into. You have to change your location. You're outside, you have to come into the house. Cherith would have finished planting the flowers, but she became ill. She would have. That's a verb. Would have finished. Okay, it's a verb. I brought all the supplies for the project except the paint. It is except, E-X-C-E-P-T, because it's the one I'm excluding. It's the one I didn't bring. Number 6, it is time to go in or into the classroom. It is time to go into the classroom. Number 7, everyone should have or should have brought in 2 canned goods to donate today. Everyone should have. Again, that's a verb. Should have brought is our verb. At the end of a long day working in the hot sun, it felt good to go in or into the air conditioning. It felt good to go into. Okay, you changed your location. Your mom's not going to use the air conditioning to cool the outside. I could have helped if only you had asked. I could have. Why? Because have is a verb. Our verb in a sentence is could have helped. Number 10, Mike would have or Mike would have been here earlier if he had not been delayed by the road construction. Mike would have been here earlier. Now, I want you to do 11 through 15. I want you to do those sentences, just practicing. Again, these are a lot of points on your test that's coming up. This is a very short chapter, prepositions, interjections, and conjunctions. A very, very short chapter. So you have another test coming up really quick, and I want to make sure that you have plenty of practice with it. So do those sentences and then your homework and quiz that's online for you. All right, guys, have a good day.